So, what's your good name?
Yeah, actually, yeah, my name is Sai Teja Lakshman.
Okay,
I'm
fine.
basically from Andhra Pradesh.
hmm Okay, fine. So, tell me something about yourself.
Yeah, coming to myself, I am Sai Teja. I'm
Okay.
from Andhra Pradesh. I'm from Vijayawada. I
hmm
completed my BTech in 2016 at near Vijayawada only,
Okay.
and my postdoc year is 2016, and I started my IT career in 2017
hmm
with HCL itself, and I'm currently working with HCL itself. From 2017 till date, I've been worked as test. I've been worked as manual and automation tester.
hmm
Firstly, coming to my projects, I worked totally for 1.5 to 2 years. I worked on purely manual testing,
Okay.
and currently project which I'm working on is both manual and automation, where we are responsible for functional testing of CNN.com website. So
hmm
basically, I have knowledge on manual and automation testing with tools. I have knowledge on tools like Selenium WebDriver,
hmm
and the language we are using is Java,
hmm
and I have knowledge on TestNG, like prioritizing the test case. For prioritization of test case, we use TestNG, and I have knowledge on also extensive knowledge on CI/CD tool,
hmm
Jenkins,
Okay.
and GitHub. These are the things which I worked on till date.
Okay, fine.
Yeah,
What is your project domain right now? Current project domain?
yeah, it's like testing of it's like social website. It's like testing of
Okay.
UI testing of CNN.com. Client is Turner. It's like
hmm
blogs which are present in a website. So we test for UI specifications like functionality of each and every functional UI working or not. So we are responsible for functional testing of end-to-end testing of CNN.com website. Yeah, Arabic it's like entertainment website, like blogs are there will be there. Like that's it.
Okay. So, what are the exact responsibilities in your current project?
Yeah, coming to my responsibilities, we basically on our project we follow agile methodology where we work in N-1 iteration of with the developers.
hmm
So we as a tester, as a QA engineer, I'm responsible. I'm responsibility. I take responsibility to write the test cases, manual test cases. Once after coming the new feature, we'll be having user stories. We'll be having sprint every 2 weeks or 2 to 3 weeks. For every new feature coming in, we will be writing first manual test cases, executing manual test cases and finding bugs and reporting those bugs. And after that, we'll be getting again new story. Then we'll be writing regression test cases. Like we'll be executing regression test suits, and we automate those regression test suits as well. So my responsibility are like attending daily stand up meetings, sprint planning, what is the new feature coming in, what is the user story we'll be working on. And first, once comes the build in, we'll be writing test cases manually, and we'll be executing manually, and then doing automation for those test cases. And like these are the responsibilities which we I am attended in our current project. Yeah.
Okay. How much rate give yourself in Java, Sai?
Yeah, I don't say I'm like a pro in Java, but I can definitely I have confidence. I have confidence like that my knowledge will be definitely will be suitable. Will be more than enough to write the automation test cases using Selenium WebDriver. So I can rate myself in Java 3 out of 5. Yeah.
Okay. So, can you tell me one scenario where you applied abstract and interface in your project?
Yeah. Uh, first I will go through with interface. In
Mhm.
we will be the first starting test case is like we need to you need to open any browser. So
Okay.
we will be using a WebDriver interface to open any browser. So first itself, in base class itself, we'll be initiating a line to open the browser. Like the first line is itself WebDriver will be creating object object for any driver. By if you are using Firefox, we'll be using Firefox driver, like that. For any driver will be driver class will be creating an object by taking reference of interface WebDriver. So through this we can be able to use the all methods which are declared in WebDriver interface. So these drivers and all, Firefox driver, Chrome driver, these drivers and all will be implementing all those methods which are present in WebDriver interface. So we will be using WebDriver interface at the starting itself. So
Okay.
WebDriver is an interface which I come across, and interface itself, the concept itself, by using interface, we'll be able to get 100% abstraction. Abstraction means it's like we'll be having only dry methods without having any implementation of those methods. Those implementations will be provided by the classes which are implementing provided by the classes which are implementing those particular things like
Okay.
extents which are used.
So what is the major difference between abstract and interface? Major difference.
Yeah, like in interface will be having only by default implicitly what are the methods in interface will be abstract. We'll be having only abstract methods by default. We don't need to use any keyword abstract. But when it comes to abstract class, we'll be having dry methods, abstract methods as well as concrete methods without having abstract keyword. This is the main difference between abstract class and interface.
Okay. So have you used final keyword in your application? Then there we used final.
Like final keyword, basically we use after if we provide that final keyword to any variable or anything, any method, further we can't change anymore. When it comes to in our framework, I didn't come across using final keyword actually.
Okay, okay, fine. So may I know major difference between default and protected access specified? Default and
Yeah.
protected.
Yeah, default is like with if we don't give any public access, if we don't give any access specifier, then it comes to default.
Okay,
If we give any keyword like protected, then it will be like protected. If we give protected to any variable or something, so we can be able to use that particular variable or use the data member in subclass itself, even in subclass also, whether it is in other package. And when it comes to default, we can't use.
okay. So you know string buffer and
That's
string builder. It-
Yeah, string buffer and string builder are classes you basically used to manipulate the string, because by if we declare the string normally, we can't change it because string is immutable. So in order to do any modifications or to the particular string, or many manipulations you want to do, then it comes then these things comes into existence, like string buffer and string builder. By using these classes, we can do string manipulations.
okay. Which one you prefer in the project? String buffer or string builder?
Like we'll be using string builder, like for any cases, when because we need to use, suppose we are running two or three threads, we are doing parallel execution, then it is preferred to use a string buffer, so because it is thread safe. That's
Okay.
what I know about string.
From Java, one more question.
Okay.
So what is the main difference between set and map?
Set and map. These are like collection. These are comes under collection framework through which we can collect the data members or something like. When it comes to set, set is an interface where we can store where we can store the values. It is like it is like unordered.
Mhm.
Set is yes, unordered, and it will not allow to add duplicate values in that.
Okay.
Uh, and where it comes to map, will be map is particularly we can able to store in key and value pairs. We can able to store uh, as in the form of key and value pairs. This is the
Okay.
main difference between set and map.
Okay. So how would you select a test case for automation?
Yeah, like the test cases which we run repeatedly, and the test cases which we run repeatedly when suppose we'll be executing regression test cases again and again. Whenever there is any change, we'll be doing all the regression test cases. In those cases, in those time, we'll be running the test cases repeatedly. So we'll be automating. We'll take those test cases to the automation, and repeatedly, which we run repeatedly, we can take into automation, and uh, which require repeatedly. Actually, for regression test cases, we'll be using automation.
Okay, okay, leave
We
it.
select the test cases like.
Okay, leave it. What is the difference between system testing and user acceptance testing?
Yeah, system testing is like it's one of the levels of testing which in which software development process. So system testing is like testing end to end each and every functionality after completion of unit and component and integration testing. We'll be
Mhm.
doing system testing to test each and every functionality is working as per the requirement or not. When it comes to user acceptance testing, it's like pre-testing before it's going to the production.
Okay.
It's like whether we need to test it like a we need to test it like in a product environment how it works. So before going to production, we do what the testing we do is user acceptance testing.
Okay, fine. So which one you like, system testing or user acceptance testing? Which one you would prefer?
It's like both we need to do. Actually, system testing will be done in it's like QA environment, which we need to definitely after
Mhm.
completion of integration testing.
Okay.
User acceptance test also is very much important. Yeah, both we need to do.
Okay. So how many test cases you can execute per day?
It's totally based on complexity. The writing test cases is like, see, actually when we get a new user story, we'll be writing manual test cases. It will be very less when compared to writing automation test cases. So
Mhm.
when it comes to manual test case, we'll be writing according to the new user story. You need to do smoke test, so we need to write smoke test cases manually. And when it comes to automation test cases, basically it based on complexity, where it's based on the complex scenario, how much the complex the scenario is. According to that, we need to I'm able to write the test cases, whether it may be 6 or 8 or per day, or even sometimes it may be 2 or 1 also. It depends on actually complexity of that particular scenario.
Okay, you are saying complexity of the depends on the complexity, right?
Yeah, whether the scenario might be big, whether sometimes you need to uh, um, like Sometimes you need to there will be many complexities comes across, like we like dynamically changing web elements. We need to add we need
So,
we'll be having more test cases for a particular scenario. Yeah.
so, so complexity means what is the most you faced complexity manual test you have done? Which is the most complex manual test you
Manual
have done?
test.
Yeah.
Yeah, most complex is like but actually for manual test cases it requires very less time only. Actually
Okay.
it's totally it's totally that we write test cases for smoke test itself. So it's totally based on requirement as we are getting new user story. It will be like new functionality adding in. So according to those functionality, according to those web elements newly added those web elements, we'll be writing test cases to check that functionality whether those are working fine or not. So when it comes to manual test cases, there might be some complexities in writing those test cases also. Suppose the feature is newly coming in. If the feature is new which we don't know, we need to do some analysis before writing test cases also. And basically that much complexity is not there when we are writing manual test cases. Yeah.
Okay. Then what type of tools you used in manual testing to find the bugs? Have you used any tool?
Yeah, to find the bugs you are asking, or like reporting purpose?
Yeah, for find the bugs. Have you used anyone or you can do manually only
No,
find the bug?
no. Actually, for manual testing, we did never used any tool to find the bugs. Actually,
Okay. For reporting purpose?
for reporting purpose, for both manual and automation, we are currently using Jira, and I
Okay.
have knowledge on Bugonizer also, which I worked on which I worked with Google Client. Their proprietary tool. It's like Google proprietary tool. I have knowledge on Bugonizer also. Yeah.
Okay. How do you know test cases are completed?
Test cases are completed, like whether the coverage is 100% or not. You
Yeah, yeah.
that you know asking that.
Yeah.
Yeah, first of all, you need to cross check with requirement traceability matrix, which we write after coming of new feature. We need to have each. We need to have each test case for each and every requirement. So that is the basic thing which we need to test before checking whether our test cases are covering 100% or not. That is the first main thing, and then we need to go across the test cases. We need to go across each and every test scenario, whether we are leaving any whether we are leaving any requirement, or whether we are leaving any particular thing in writing test scenarios or test cases. The first thing is RTM. After that, we need to cross check whether each and every test case is covered, whether each and every component in our whether each and every functionality has been covered in testing or not. Yeah.
Okay, fine.
While
So
writing
have
regression test cases, we need to cover maximum by providing different test data. Like we need not to miss anything. Yeah.
okay. So have you involved any releasing process? Any involvement in your project?
Releasing process, it's not it's like I didn't involve anything in releasing process, but we'll be like involved in discussion like what and all the bugs for this. But so suppose if there is any release going on this time, we'll be knowing, we'll be having, like we'll be getting mails like what is the deadline, on which date some version is going to production or not. So though in those times we'll be having some meetings, like will be discussion on release notes. What will be the bugs will be what will be the bugs which are not fixed, what will be the bugs which are fixed before going to that particular production. So we'll be having some discussions on release notes, which are all the bugs we are still there before going to production, and which and all we need to work on. Like that, we'll be having some discussions and meetings before a particular version is before going to in production. So I didn't any involved in any release process, but These and all, this is the process which I worked till I worked on 2 projects. Those 2 projects are same as like I will be having meetings before release.
Okay. Uh,
Yeah.
so tell me one scenario where you cannot where you are not able to write a test case for a given requirement. Is there any scenario you are unable to write the test case?
Uh, there any scenario is like definitely there might be the situations will come like by individually I can't write any test case. By taking help of what is team lead or someone before these like before which in previous in history will be having some test case which has been written according to the same scenario. So will be take reference from those previous test scenarios which will be written by our previous team leads or something by taking the help of team members and team leads will be definitely will we can able to write.
Okay. So
Yeah.
what's the exact use of GitHub in Selenium?
Yeah, it's like GitHub is basically for pulling and pushing of data. And suppose it's mainly like in a team, it has to be there has to be one central repository for the code management. Uh, Suppose 3 or 4 members working on a team, they has to be having like a central repository to take the code, and we need by after some changes we need to push the code. So in order to maintenance of the code management, definitely for version control, we need to definitely have one central repository for the code management. So for that purpose, we will be using these version control tools in GitHub.
Okay. How to select a value from dropdown in Selenium?
Yeah, there is a class called select class through which we can able to select a value by 3 ways: select by value, select by index, and select by visible text.
Okay.
We can able to select by using select class. We can able to select any value.
How can we run a test method multiple times without using data provider? How-
Okay, for particular test, we need to run
Yeah, yeah,
many times. You're asking.
yeah, multiple times.
Okay, it's like I think there is annotation like invocation count. We can give how much time that particular test at the rate test by using test ng annotation. In the bracket, we need to give invocation count.
Okay.
Invocation or some invocation count only. Based
Yes,
on
yes,
that
yeah,
count, it
yeah,
will
yeah,
that
yeah,
particular test.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So one more question: how can we skip the test method? I want to skip the some test
In
methods.
okay.
Then how can
Like
do that?
yes. Yeah, when yeah, there will be some scenarios in which after writing some test at the rate tests by after writing some test cases, test methods, there is some scenarios in which we need to skip some test cases. Then there is a method like there is a test engine annotation at the rate enabled is equal to false. There are 2 ways. This is one way in which we can skip that particular test, and by using in testng xml file also we can include or exclude some test cases. We need to write those include which we need to include those tests. uh, those will be we can change it in testng xml file, and we need to write those test cases include which and all tests will be should be included or which and all tests should be excluded. So by using include or exclude, we can skip some particular test cases,
So
particular test methods.
what are the frameworks you are following in your company?
Yeah, I know. We in our company we are following this data-driven test framework only. Data-driven framework with page object pattern we are following.
Have you involved to implement the framework or you are developing the?
Yeah, actually, I have been involved, but lately I didn't involved in like from the scratch. But in the middle, I joined, and like I have knowledge on how to implement new scenarios and how to implement new methods to add in everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are the mostly used locators in your project? Which one you used mostly?
Yeah, it's totally depends on totally depends on the particular web element. We mostly use XPath, but when it comes, definitely we need to check it on whether any unique element, whether there will be any availability of unique ID or unique name. If the particular web element is having any unique thing, whether it may be ID, whether it may be name or something, we will be go through it. Otherwise, we'll be writing export for that particular web element. It's totally based on uniqueness. Whether we need to check the unique element, the unique locator. Like based on that, we'll be writing the export for locators for those web
Okay.
elements, particular web elements.
So what type of challenges you faced for, using Selenium project? Have you faced any challenges?
Yeah, when it comes to challenges, there will be many challenges like writing XPath for those dynamically changing elements. This is the one of the challenges which I come across. There may be scenarios like what are maybe the right. So we are writing today. We are including some locator today. The, tomorrow, if you run the test cases, those will be getting failed. So again we are going to change the particular locator of that web element because we are using page object model. We are able to change at this one at that once. So we'll be definitely discussing with developer. These are the things which I come across. So we need to be more focused to write write the particular locators for the dynamically changing web elements. And there are some this is one of the thing. And complexities when it comes to writing test cases, because our project is our client is like US, will be having some time managing things also. We'll be getting billed lately. We need to manage the time. Suppose if we get the bill today, we need to do definitely smoke test on that day itself. These are the complexities which I come across because based on the client. This is as we are working in agile environment, we have to be very uh, clear in giving the deadlines. And yeah, these
Okay.
are the things which I come across.
Okay. What you people discuss in stand-up meeting?
Yeah, in stand-up meeting, basically, what are the work task we'll be assigning for today? Each and every member will be getting mail definitely like from the team lead. He'll be assigning the task through on which particular member have to work on the till to on that date. Suppose if there is any there is any bug got high priority or high severity, we need to discuss that bug tomorrow, in the stand-up meeting itself. We need to any discussion on bug or any discussion. This is the stand-up call is basically the task have which are what are the tasks for each and every member, and if there is any requirement of is there any information from the client regarding bugs or regarding production bugs or something, we will be discussing in stand-up call.
Okay.
Yeah.
So can you tell me some frequently used GitHub comments, daily uses?
Yeah, frequently used. It's like we'll be definitely pulling the git git pull command, push commands, and while pushing, before pushing, we need to add the files which have been changed. We need to git add file name or something. Git commit. We need to give some message before committing, before pushing, and then we need to push the code by using git push origin and name. Like this, pushing and pulling these things and all we'll be doing mainly
Okay. How to
frequently.
handle exceptions in Selenium? Exceptions or errors? How you are handling the exceptions?
Yeah, we can use a try catch block while handling exceptions by using the code to by using by giving the particular method or something in particular in try block, in which we can sense the particular exception may come, and the catch block will be definitely, the catch block will catch the exception which are got in the try block, which we written the code in the try block. So by using try catch mechanism, we can handle the exceptions, whatever the exceptions we can come across.
Okay, fine.